Hi everyone, welcome back to our holiday series. Today we'll be making pepper chicken. So before we begin to marinate our chicken, we're going to dab our chicken lightly with a paper towel to get rid of any excess moisture so our spices and our marinade can stick better. To marinate our chicken, I'm going to get started with 1 tablespoon of onions, a tablespoon of Scotch Bonnet, 1 teaspoon of ginger, 1 teaspoon of garlic, half a teaspoon of thyme, half a teaspoon of curry. We're using Nigerian style curry, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and seasoning cube of your choice. I'll be using some regular seasoning cube and some chicken bouillon seasoning cubes. I'm also going to go in with a teaspoon of neutral oil to help combine the spices together. Last but not the least, I'm going to go with some black pepper, half a teaspoon of black pepper, a 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of chili powder. We're going to use our hand. I'm wearing a glove. If you're not wearing a glove, you can maybe use your spoon or spatula. I'm using a glove because it's spicy and you want to be careful when you're working with raw chicken. So I'm going to use our hands to gently massage all the spices and aromatics into the chicken. That's all done. I'm going to set this aside, cover with cling film, and leave to marinate for 6 to 8 hours in the refrigerator. Don't forget, in the refrigerator. Don't leave your meat out. We're going to go ahead and place our chicken. I'm using chicken thighs in this video in the pots. You can use any parts. You can use drumsticks or just any part of chicken. I like the thighs, so I'm using the thighs. We're going to go ahead and place that in the pots, and on low to medium heat we're going to let it cook in its own juices. The chicken will bring out its own juices, water, oil, all of that. And after about 3-4 minutes we're going to go in with about half a cup of water. The chicken is still going to bring out more liquid, so you don't have to worry about putting too much water. And then you're going to go in some onion, some garlic, and some salt to taste, and just stir that in and allow your chicken to boil until it's completely done. This should take about 20 to 25 minutes. Like I said, if the water seems like it's reducing, don't worry, more water is going to come out and you could always add a little bit more. Let's go on to the next stage, which is making our pepper sauce. Now let me put you through the ingredients on the screen. The longer peppers are called Shombo in Nigeria, and they're also called cayenne pepper all over the world. So this is fresh cayenne pepper. The smaller peppers are called Scotch Bonnet pepper. We have a tomato and a small onion. The Scotch Bonnet is responsible for the heat. That is how spicy and how hot our pepper sauce is going to be. And the Shombo is mostly like for bulk and for color and also a bit of spice and flavor, but it's not really responsible for the heat, except some variations that are really hot. We're going to be deseeding the Shombo, which is the cayenne pepper anyway. We're going to be leaving the seeds in the Scotch Bonnet, but the Shombo, the seeds are really hard, so we're going to be taking that off. And we're going to start with our pepper sauce prep. So what we're doing now, we're taking off the stems of the Scotch Bonnet peppers. Then we're going to go ahead and take off the stems of the Shombo cayenne pepper, split it in two, and remove the seeds. So we're deseeding it. Remove stem, split in two, pass a knife through the middle, remove seeds. These seeds are very strong, so if you try to blend it, it's not going to blend, or it's not even going to blend properly, and it just messes up the texture of the sauce. So you want to get rid of it. And sometimes it's really hot as well, like it makes it really spicy. You don't want the meal to be too spicy. You want to be able to control the spice, but not with those seeds, with Scotch Bonnet. So personally, I don't really like spicy food, but I always want that heat. So I just add like 2-3. Also depends on the variety of peppers you're using. Some peppers are spicier than others. Even the same type of pepper, you get it today is spicy, the next day it's not spicy. Things like the temperature, regional variations also affect it. So you want to be aware. So safe rule of thumb, starts with as little Scotch Bonnet as possible. We're almost done deseeding all the Shombo, Canyenne pepper. We're going to go ahead to cut our tomatoes into chunks, and then we're going to do the same with our onions. We're going to cut that into chunks, and then put that in the food processor and pulse continuously. We may need to add a little bit of water, but not too much. The tomatoes is going to help, and we're using a food processor. You could also use a blender. You see I'm adding some water. Please note, you do not have to use a food processor. I want my pepper sauce to be chunky, and I want it to have a certain visual appeal. You could also use a blender, and you could blend it way smoother than this. So don't feel you need a food processor for this. I'm going to go ahead and pour the blended mix into a pan, and what we're going to do now is just to dry out the excess moisture by stirring on low heat. Make sure it doesn't burn. It could burn quickly if you're not looking. So we're just trying to get rid of all the excess moisture before we begin to fry our pepper sauce or introduce any other aromatics or seasonings. So I'm going to go in with half a cup of oil, thereabouts. I'm just going to go in with a little bit at first to kickstart the frying process, then add in a little bit of oil later on. You don't want to add everything at once because it seems like the sauce just swallows it. So you just want to add that gradually. Then we're going to go in with some salt. Stir that in gradually. Then go in with some seasoning cubes of your choice. And also, stir that in gradually. Now it's time to add in our garlic. Then we're going to stir that in and just let it fry for a bit. Garlic adds a really amazing flavor to this dish. You can also add some curry and thyme at this stage. That is up to you. We're going to set the sauce aside and move on to our chicken. Our chicken is ready now, and we're going to place it in an air fryer at 180 degrees for about 5 to 8 minutes. You could also fry your chicken, but sincerely, thighs are a very fatty part of the chicken, and I'm not in any way going to fry this. I just want to brown it a bit in the air fryer. We're going to go ahead and place it in the sauce, and we're going to take some of the sauce, scoop it over the chicken, and just make sure it's well covered. So yeah, we're just going to keep on doing that until the sauce and the chicken is well combined, and we're going to finish off by adding some chopped green peppers. That helps give it a pop of color and also helps to elevate the taste. And that brings us to the end of this recipe. Thank you for watching. Pepper chicken is popularly paired with rice dishes, especially the Nigerian fried rice recipe I shared last week. So be sure to check that out and have a nice holiday. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment as well. Thank you for watching. Till next week. Love, Amal.